Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and my good friend from Illinois. Look, 70% of the lost jobs that have been mentioned earlier were in the energy efficiency market, which includes HVAC, lighting, insulation, appliances, on and on. Before COVID, the efficiency market was growing in excess of 10% annually. Fortunately, economists are already projecting that these jobs will come back once the crisis subsides, that energy projects were merely postponed, not canceled. Unlike 2008, the job losses were not the result of a policy failure. But look, if the United States is really serious about moving towards 100% renewables, shouldn't Congress ensure that America has a dependable supply chain? Haven't we learned anything from the COVID crisis about the disruptions that we experienced with PPE and pharmaceuticals? America is simply too dependent on foreign sources for critical materials. Consider the ingredients in a battery for electric vehicle. According to Mining News, America is nearly 100% dependent on other nations for its cobalt, lithium, and carbon anodes. The same is true for solar panels. Key minerals like silicon, arsenic, and gallium are primarily sourced from China and Russia. Lund University researchers have projected by the year 2060, the availability of minerals for electric car batteries will need to increase 87,000%. 87,000%. And the wind and solar industry will require similar increases. Can we rely on this level of dependency on China? One option is to start extracting critical minerals domestically, but the environmental left doesn't want us to do that. Arrogantly, they would rather have rogue companies destroy the land and water qualities of other countries instead of safely developing American mining operations. For example, it takes 500,000 gallons of water to obtain 1 ton of lithium. That's a lot of water. Extracting lithium in Chile consumes 63% of all the water available in the region. Now, consider that the Edison Electric Institute projects by 2030, just the next decade, to the end of this decade, the United States could have nearly 19 million electric cars on the road. Using the amount of lithium in a Tesla battery, America will need approximately 2.6 billion pounds of lithium. Think about that amount, 2.6 billion pounds. Think about all the water that will be wasted to achieve that. America is about to confront a global shortage of key materials. So if environmental groups are preventing us from mining here, and there are critical shortages developing, shouldn't we consider some alternatives? What about an energy source that's efficient, never needs recharged, has zero emissions, and can operate 24/7? Shouldn't we be considering that? That's hydrogen power. And you just heard Muniz talk about that. It's already being used globally as an alternative energy source. We wouldn't be turning our back on fossil fuels during energy efficiency, but developing energy efficient hydrogen fuel cells could be another tool in our energy. We still have carbon capture, 45Q, companies like Net Power and Petronova, and advanced nuclear plants. Look, the employment in the energy efficiency market is projected to be just a bump in the road. But the looming problem with the supply chain for critical minerals threatens America's ability to rely on renewable energy. Wouldn't it be novel for Congress to pursue clean, carbon-free emission energy sources without destroying an all-of-the-above energy approach? So, Rich, am I correct on that, or have I gone wrong?
First, Representative McKinley, thank you so much for your leadership, your fearless leadership on carbon capture over these past several years. I think the points you've raised about the desperate importance for diversifying our supply chain for these critical and rare earth minerals and materials is very important, finding both domestic supply chains here in the United States and also diversifying globally. Take cobalt alone, we're heavily reliant on the Democratic Republic of Congo for those exports where significant rights violations and awful labor practices are rife in the industry in Congo. And so we need to find either alternative chemistries for a lot of this stuff that are using different materials or alternative sources for a lot of these materials. I certainly agree with you on the hydrogen front. You know, if we could find a way to economically convert our existing fossil abundance, coal and gas in the United States, capture that into hydrogen, capture that carbon, sequester it underground, as you said, we'd have a virtually unlimited source used for multiple applications all around the country, whether those are in transportation or heavy industry or in our power sector.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I yield back my time.